of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Okay, let's say this 3 times. At least in this life you don't understand. Next time when you're born, you say this emptiness of objectivity of the object is the object of the object. You say this and everybody will identify with the reincarnation. That's a true coup, right? Okay, let's say this together 3 times. Emptiness of object. Okay, first let's say this by looking at it. Let's say this by looking at it 2 times. After this, then we'll say this without looking at it. Emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Okay, now without looking at it, let's say this 3 times together. Emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Emptiness of the objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object. Okay. Now tell me. This is the conclusion, right? This is conclusion. So the conclusion is, say we are dreaming. In the dream, we see so many things in the dream. We see so many things in the dream. And every time we see anything, we see that is so real in the dream. You getting it? And then I tell you that no, be mindful that you are dreaming. You will say, no, I'm not dreaming, this is all real. Look at this red flags, that, you know, how they're moving. It just knocked my mind. It's really there. How the sunshine, the leaves, beautiful flowers, all these, the different designs of the flooring, the ceiling, right? How many millions and trillions of details are there? How come that my mind can create this? You can say, you will say this in a dream. You're getting it? Okay, you see this as so real from there. Okay, and then you wake up. You wake up. Okay. What did you dream? I dream of being intelligent, seeing different people, different cars, different buildings, and so forth. Okay. In the dream, did you see them as so real, or you saw them as dream? I saw them as real. I saw them as objectively real. Objectivity, the real. Okay. Okay, now, say that Tel Aviv which you dreamt, the dream Tel Aviv, what's the reality of that dream? That is not being a dream is the reality, right? That the dream is not the real, is the reality of that dream, yes? That the dream of the Tel Aviv, not being real Tel Aviv, is the reality of that Tel Aviv dream, right? The dream of the Tel Aviv, not being real Tel Aviv, is the reality of the Tel Aviv dream, right? Okay, now, okay, write it down. Dream of the Tel Aviv, dream of the Tel Aviv. Okay, dream of the cheesecake, that's better. Dream of the cheesecake, not being a real cheesecake, is the reality of the dream cheesecake.
Not being real cheesecake?
Not being real cheesecake. Oh, not being real, just say not being real, this is better. The what? Let's say it again. How do you say this? The dream cheesecake not being a real is the reality of the dream cheesecake.
Yes.
Dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the dream cheesecake. Right? I'll explain this. Okay, this is very precious. No doubt, if you get some understanding, millions of negative karmas that we accumulated in the past will be purified. Guaranteed. Right? If you get some understanding of, wow, it's amazing. If you get this kind of feeling, millions and trillions of negative karmas that we have accumulated in the past will be purified, washed away by this experience. Right? Okay. What did we write? What did we write?
Dream of the cheesecake.
The dream the dream of the, not dream of, the dream cheesecake, huh? The dream cheesecake, then what?
Not being real.
Dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the dream cheesecake. You're getting it? Okay, in the dream, you say, what's the reality of cheesecake? Cheesecake is the reality, right? You wake up, you say, this is not a cheesecake, right? You dreamt of cheesecake? Yes, I had the dream cheesecake in the dream.
Is real.
No, listen. Just listen. Okay, when I'm saying this is a very complex idea. Don't ruminate over anything what I said earlier. Don't anticipate anything. Don't correlate with anything else. Just listen to this. Once you understand this fully, then you can correlate, you can ruminate, or you can do anything, right? Just pay attention to this. Just pay attention to this. Once you understand this, you can do anything else. This is so precious. Oftentimes, we ruminate too much and then you miss the point. Okay, so what I'm saying, what did I say? Dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the dream cheesecake. Okay, let us say this again. Say this with, if you want to look at it, look at it. If you want to look at it, don't look at it. Say this. The dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the dream cheesecake. Dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the dream cheesecake. Finally, dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the cheesecake. You're getting it? Not being real. Say that dream cheesecake is not real. That is the reality of the cheesecake. You're getting it? That the flower does not exist objectively. That is objectivity of the flower. The flower does not exist objectively. That is the objectivity of the flower. Okay, so let's say what we said is, right, okay, let's say the dream cheesecake, you wake up, okay, do you have a cheesecake? You said no, but in the dream we were having dream cheesecake. That's a dream cheesecake, right? Okay, in the dream you saw that's a real cheesecake. Yes. Now you saw the real cheesecake. No, this is a dream cheesecake. It's not real cheesecake. Which is real? It's not being real is the reality of the cheesecake, or the dream cheesecake being real is the reality of the dream cheesecake. Not being real, right? In dream you say that being real is the reality of the cheesecake. When you wake up, you say, no, that is deceptive. Dream cheesecake not being real is the reality of the cheesecake, right? Okay. Likewise, this flower. When you look at it, we see it as objectively real. Dream cheesecake seen as a real cheesecake. You see this flower as objectively real flower. Then you wake up because of the wisdom of emptiness. You see reality that it's just coming from a mind, right? It's just coming from a mind. From the object side, the flower coming from the objects is not real, right? It's not true. So it's empty. The flower is empty from the object. So emptiness of objectivity of the object is the objectivity. Objectivity meaning the reality. What's the reality of this flower? Reality, objectivity, they mean the same. What's the reality of the flower? That this flower is not objectively real. This is the reality of the flower. So emptiness of the flower being objectively real is the objectivity of the flower. Let me say this again more. I could see that you're getting somewhere. You're about to get it. I can see that. Right? Wow, it's amazing. Once, it was many years ago, when I just finished my studies on emptiness, about like say, after 10 years of my studies, I'm still a very young, energetic boy, very enthusiastic. This emptiness is so precious, I should teach to everybody who is interested. And there was one gentleman who was already, I think he was already in his 60s. No exposure to philosophy. He's so pious. And from a soldier from army, a soldier. and taking care of the small temple in the army camp. Right? And then he showed so much of faith in Dharma. And seeing this faith in him, I said, I must teach him the real faith. The real Dharma is emptiness. I should teach him. Right? So whatever I learned in 10 years, I tried to tell him in 1 hour. And what happened? Right? He started to have his eyelashes being folded. His eyelashes folded. He was not feeling dozing off, but his eyelashes folded. I was like, what happened to you, right? Then I realized that I was teaching him. No training, right? Teaching everything what I learned in 10 years in just 1 hour, right? And then, right, the brain just confused. What is happening, right? Okay, so then we are trying to teach everything in 4 days, right? But I'm so amazed that your eyes are not folded. I'm so happy. It's amazing. Your eyelashes are not folded. It's amazing, right? Okay, which means that you are getting somewhere. I could see that you're getting somewhere. Almost there, right? Don't disturb me, almost there. I can see that. Okay, let me say this again. This flower, we're exploring what's the reality of this flower. You follow me? Okay, don't ruminate anything of the past. Don't think of correlating what we have learned in the past. Just focus on what I'm saying now. Okay, we're exploring what's the reality of this flower. What's the reality? Whether it exists objectively, whether it's empty of objective reality. This is what we're exploring. You understand it? You understand it?
Yes.
We're exploring. I'm not saying that it is empty of objectivity. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're exploring the reality of this flower. What I'm seeing, whether the dream flower is a dream or whether the dream flower is real. This is what we're exploring. Likewise, this flower, whether it's coming from a mind or whether it's coming from the object, this is what we're exploring. You understand this? You follow this? Good. So we're exploring the reality of this flower. Exploring the reality. So reality, this word reality, what's the reality of this flower? Is it just coming from the mind or coming from the object? We are looking for the reality. This reality, also, the word that you use is objectivity. Right? What is the objectivity of this flower? Means what is the reality of this flower? Objectivity here means the reality. So what is the reality of the flower? We can put in another word. What is the objectivity of this flower? You getting it?
Yes.
Good. Now, when you look at this flower, you see that it's made of millions of atoms. When you see it on the atomic level, the flower disappears. If the flower does exist from the object, the closer we go to the object, we should be able to find the flower. What Nagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close to the mirage see water? When closer to the object, the flower disappears. When closer to the object. So from the object, the flower is not there. From the object, the flower is empty. Right? From the object, this word from the object, we say the objectivity of the flower is not true. So we are looking for what? The reality of the flower. We are looking for the objectivity of the flower. Don't forget it. And what we found? We found that from the object, the flower is empty. That the flower is empty from the object is the reality. That the flower is empty from the object is known as the objectivity of the flower. Objectivity of the flower, the reality of the flower, these two mean the same. Right? So that the flower is empty from the object side, empty of objective existence, that is the reality of the flower.
Yes.
Okay, now I changed the word. That the flower is empty from the object, empty objectively is the objectivity of the object. Reality of the flower. Reality of the flower, objectivity of the flower, same. So emptiness of the flower being empty of objectivity. That objectivity means objective existence. The flower being empty of objective existence, objectivity, is the reality of the flower. The flower being empty of objectivity is the objectivity of the flower.
Yeah.
You getting it?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can see that your eyes are wide open, which means you are getting something. Okay, good. So with this, okay, we have just 6 minutes, and the tomorrow morning, okay, tomorrow we will, okay, tomorrow morning session. Morning session. So, by the way, tomorrow how many sessions we have?
3 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon.
3 hours in the morning.
Three sessions.
Okay, 3 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. So what we do is that tomorrow, say during the morning practice session, morning prayer session, we will do emptiness, but it may not be as elaborate as what we intend to do. So if you don't get to do it very elaborate, more elaborate form in the morning prayer, then we'll take one session of the class. So in the morning, 3 hours. Morning 3 hours, we'll split into 2 sessions. The first session or the second session will be done emptiness meditation, right? Okay. Then there are of course many other points which I need to discuss, share with you. We'll share. And then the Bodhicitta, somehow the method, this method, equalizing exchange method, we have to finish. Either this today or by tomorrow afternoon, right? Okay. And then we have to spend one session on how to design the practice, right? Okay. We have 5 more minutes. Now what we do is that, okay, let's say now the self, what travels to the next life? The mind travels or the self travels? Okay. Now let's say, because that you already introduced 2 entities, isolates, positive, negative, right? Because of this, now it becomes very easy for us. Okay, let's say, Isaac says, I. So this I came from past life. So, okay, let's say we all know, we are very confident about the past life, future life, all these things, right? So we will not mix the two issues, the discussions. Let's keep that, take for granted. So this I came from my past life? Yes, no?
Yes.
Right? Okay. What travels? The mind travels, the self travels, the person travels. This is what we're going to discuss. So this I, right? I am healthy, I have good health, or I'm sick because of my previous karma. Yes, no?
Yes.
Right? Okay, because of my previous karma. Yes. And who accumulated that previous karma? I accumulated myself. I accumulated this previous karma, which means that this I should be there in the previous life. But this I, Dorji, the human being, the boy, was he there in the past life? No, he was born in this life. Right? He was not there. But this I was there. Okay, now this I, we see that this I, within this I, we can think of 2 I's. One I, which spreads in 3 times. I was in the past accumulated karmas, and now experience the result. I'm accumulating karmas now. It will experience the result in the future. So this I which spreads in 3 times. 1. And this I which exists only in this life. We started from the birth in my mother's womb and when I died. Till this point, this I, what is this I? Dorji. This Dorji started from the conception of mother's womb and then the death. Till that point, Dorji lasts. Right? Dorji lasts that point. So this Dorji and the I Dorji and I, this I. There are 2 I's, right? There are 2 I's. Are these 2 entity-wise or different? Huh?
Why 2 eyes? Say it again.
Okay, so not why. So how 2 I's?
How 2 eyes?
Okay. So one is the I, Dorji. Dorji is also the I, yes? This Dorji exists only in this life. Boy, Tibetan, exists only in this life. This is one I. Another one which exists in 3 times. Right? Exists in 3 times. In the past, maybe I may be Israeli. Maybe Israeli girl. Because when I was very young, I was so fond of pink color. Right? Maybe I was an Israeli girl or I was a girl somewhere else. Right? So which means that this Dorji was not a girl. But this I was a girl in the former life. So there was one I which is present 3 times. Right?
So it's one entity.
Now, this I which is present 3 times, and this I, the Dorji, are these two one entity or different entities?
One and one.
If different entities, then these two become 2 different persons. That is not true, right? Okay, am I pointing to Dorji or am I pointing to this I which is present 3 times? Okay, where is this I which is present 3 times? Here. Correct, not correct? Correct. Where is Dorji? Is here. Correct, not correct? Correct. You point to the same object, which means that these two are the same entities.
Different isolate.
Now, are they different isolates or same isolate? Because this I, which Dorji, in your mind, it is the Dorji which pervades in only one life. And the I which is present 3 times, it pervades in all 3 times. So in your mind, these two appear as different. One is shorter, one is longer. Right? One is longer, shorter, these two are in your mind, these two appear different. Because this appears different to your mind, these two are isolated wise different. You're getting it? Okay, now let's say that Dorji will not travel to the next life. Dorji dies, finish. Which I travels? The I which spreads the 3 times. This I travels to the next life, not Dorji. Dorji, because why Dorji is not traveling? Because Dorji is confined to this life. When the Dorji's body is left, finished, Dorji finished. But Dorji, this I, same entity as Dorji, which travels to the next life. Right? Okay, so if you understand the isolated entities, it becomes very easy. If you don't understand the isolated entity concept, then this question becomes very complicated.
Okay, logically and intellectually it's understood. But when you separate from your body,
That is the Isik of this life. Right?
So, Isik of this life is one entity.
Isik of this life and I. Say, let us not talk about Isik, let us talk about the Limor. Limor means this life. Limor is this life. Limor was not in the past life. Limor started from your mother's, right? From your mother's womb, Limor started. Limor, which means this life, and Limor, you said that I. Do you say I? Yes. This I came from your past life. So this I and Limor, these two are entity-wise same. Isolated-wise different, because this I spreads in 3 times, past, future and present life, all 3. Because this Limor spreads only in this life, not the past and the future.
So Limor is isolate?
No. Limor and this I of Limor, these two are entity-wise one.
Yes. Here, now, but in past lives,
It's not remote.
It's not Limor. Limor's
so
I.
It's the
I.
So the I is entity.
Okay. So what we have to speak about? Okay. Now we have what we have to do is we have to think of 2 things. What is entity? What is isolate? Entity-wise, one are different. Entity-wise, one are different. Isolate-wise, there are 2 different questions. One is entity. Limor is entity or isolate is entity. Entity means something is substance. You getting it? Limor is the substance. There is substance there. Solid limor is there. This substance. This is entity. And limor's I is also entity. This is also entity. Now, what does not have a substance, we call it isolate. What does not have a substance? For example, we do not really discuss on this part, the non-composite space. We don't discuss on this part. So in other words, what is substance is entities. What does not have a substance still exists, they are isolates. But this is not what we're discussing. What we're discussing is entity-wise, one or different. We're talking about one or different. One or different between 2 things. On the entity level, on the isolated level. This is what we're discussing. We're not discussing about what is entity, what is isolated. You getting it? So now, limor and limor's I. When you say I came from past life, I'll go to next life. This I and limor, these two are entity-wise. Entity-wise one. Isolated-wise, different. You getting it? So this I, within limor, who said that I came from past life, I'll go to next life, that I spreads across the 3 lifetimes. Whereas limor spreads across only one lifetime, this life. Entity was one, isolated was different.
Can you define I?
Say it again?
You talk about the I.
Yes.
I understand the isolates. But what is I? When you say I
Oh,
was...
what is I? This is next very good. Wow.
The combination of
This
the
is-
mind is I now, but what is... Okay.
The question of what is I? This is a question which was debated among many of the philosophers, Buddhist philosophers, non-Buddhist philosophers, among themselves, within Buddhism, the 4 schools, they all debate, what is this I? Right? Okay, so which means that Shosh is now you are just the right person to study the Buddhist tenet systems. 4 tenet systems.
Okay, I have some idea about it.
Vaibhashika, Sautrantrika, Chittamatra, Madhyamika, how they posit the self, this I. They posit the self, this I as different. And then all what were posted by the lower schools, somehow when you look at it from the Prasanga point of view, you see that there are contradictions there. Right? Then automatically it will take you to understand this I from the point of view of Prasangika. You're getting it? Okay, now it is high time for you. You've reached the right time to study tenet systems. Right? And tenet system, we already have the recordings from bodhiwisdom.org. Bodhiwisdom.org. The recordings are there, and the book is also available. The book, everything is material ready. We can all study this. Right? Okay, good. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swadhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swadhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swadhyata